Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm here with Tate Mathews today, and Tate, if I'm a little more excited than normal, it's because we now have 2 fall sports in the books. Soccer heading to the state tournament. We're heading towards football playoffs. Not that I'm glad that 2 sports are over, but what I'm happy about, Mr. Mathews, is we have 2 team state championships, 2 team runners-up, and 1 individual champion. It's not a bad decade for some people.
It's not a bad start to the fall season. Yes. That's an athletic history for some schools.
Hey, let's talk about...
Really strong.
It's strong. And Tate, let's talk about volleyball a little bit. As most of you guys know, they're out there listening. You know, we had Nolensville and Ravenwood in the state championship for AAA, an all-Wilco final. But not only that being the final, but talk about this, Tate. For Nolensville to do what they did, number 1, moving up in class from AA to AAA, but losing the first match. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Came all the way back through. You don't see that much. And first year in AAA, and it is a big jump. We saw that last year.
Well, who won AA?
They did. This year?
Yeah.
Was it Hume Fogg?
Maybe.
Magnet Academy, the Knights, the Knights?
But my point is, it wouldn't have been close. I mean,
No.
playing them.
Well, I don't think they lost a match last year in the state tournament, so or a set. I mean, but anyways, to come up and do what they did, and then I think we keep losing sight of because they've done so well. Think of how many great players they lost from last year's team. And so come up and 3 in a row, first one, and they're 1 for 1 in AAA. Pretty impressive. And like you said, coming back through after losing, not easy to do. Hey man, I think it's pretty safe to say Coach Young will be volleyball coach of the year.
Well, I'd say he's got a chance. Hey, and Coach West, great job.
Yeah.
Great job there for Ravenwood. I've got a listen, this is off script, so we're going to see if Tate, what he will really say, because he didn't know this is coming.
Okay.
How do you feel about the Ravenwood? They go through the winner's bracket, right? So they win 3 matches to get to the final, right?
Right.
Nolensville has to play their 6th match in the final. So Ravenwood was playing match 4. Ravenwood was playing opposite. 6th match for Nolensville, 4th for Ravenwood. But they both ended up losing 1 match. Do you think they should have had to beat them twice?
Wow.
Now, see, I put him on the spot. This is good TV out there.
For the sake of time, no. They do have to in baseball, don't they? Baseball and softball?
Well, it's all double elimination, correct? Yeah. That's right.
I mean, I guess if you're going to be consistent, but hey, no. Too much time. There's too many, it takes too long anyways.
Well, my thought was, how would you schedule it?
Be tough.
If if you're waiting for the next class to get, now if they have it at different sites like they did this year, it wouldn't be that big a deal. But what if they have it at one site again, and like, hey, the AAA, you'll start at this time unless X team wins, and it's another 2 hours. So that's part of it. And listen, they played 6 matches.
Six matches.
The advantage was 6 matches versus 4. But anyway, I just thought, I want to get your opinion on that.
I understand the argument for those that say it, but I think for the second time, and hey man, you knew the rules when you got there, right? So that was the one you had to win.
As long as we won, I'm okay with it.
Yes, it's a much easier argument for you in the chair you're sitting in.
Whatever.
You would win either way.
Hey, in that final, and it was the 5th time out of 6 meetings that Nolensville defeated Ravenwood, 25-14, 25-19, 25-21. And Tate, I know you saw some of this too. The crowds that these 2 schools had, I'm telling you, because I watched it with Ravenwood playing Cleveland.
Right.
Cleveland beats Nolensville in match 1. Cleveland Ravenwood play in what I would call the finals of the winner's bracket. Winner goes to the championship. The crowd absolutely impacted the outcome.
No doubt about it. And one of the things I love about it is the football teams.
It's great. Coach Hester gets it.
Kind of giving back.
Coach
Derrick as well.
They both get it.
They are the beneficiaries of the best student sections anywhere in the state of Tennessee on Friday nights, right? And to see the football teams there and cheering on the young ladies, I think is awesome. I'm sure there was some nudging from the head coaches, but I don't think a whole lot. I think they wanted to. Really cool. And you're
Well-
right, it did make a difference.
Well, in those schools, I recognize some of those football guys, and they're out there. It's like their chance to do it because
That's
sometimes
right.
they don't have that chance. They're like, I get to do what some of these other students are doing for me. So it was a lot of fun. Nolensville, as we mentioned, they lost in the first round in 5 sets. They lost the first 2 sets, came all the way back, and then dropped the last set 15-10 to Cleveland. Then they defeat Maryville, Hardin Valley, Collierville, and Cleveland, all but Hardin Valley in 4 sets.
Think about those schools that you just mentioned, and then you have to beat Ravenwood for the 5th time in 6 meetings to win the state. I mean, that's a gauntlet right there, man.
Well, and Ravenwood, too, that made it tough. Not only is Ravenwood a great team,
Right.
but they had only lost their first match. I think they lost a set to Houston. They straight setted their next 2 opponents. So Ravenwood was really rested
Yes.
going into the championship, which makes that even more impressive. Hey, let's talk about that championship. Miss Knox, Tate.
Not Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
For our older viewers out
You
there.
don't know it, look it up.
MVP, she's a freshman, 13 kills. And then you start looking down the lineup, Maggie Rickert, who's had some great years. She's only a junior, 8 kills, 15 digs. Ellie Tate, 4 aces, 12 assists. And then big step-ups from seniors, Mamie Guthrie, who's only a 1-year starter at Libero.
Very good.
She comes in, 14 digs, and then Avery Young, great story, being coached by her dad, Coach Brett Young with 7 kills. But you look at their lineup and you go, this isn't over. We may have to change the hashtag to death, taxes, and Nolensville volleyball.
Pretty good.
You got to win a couple more though, Coach Young. It's not
Yes.
8. It's not 8 yet.
Let's not get carried away. 3's nice. Very good. But it's not 8. Hey, we always talk about it, the freshmen in this conference, sports conference that always step up. But, Miss Knox, freshman, MVP, 13 kills, state championship, AAA. I mean, she's probably 14. It's crazy.
Well, it was funny. I was talking to one of because she's in the same respect here, or the same class here. I was talking to Coach Wilkins out at Independence, and he said one of his teammates said, Jet Montgomery, great player, said Jet's the only guy I know who can score 40 points and has to ride home with his mom.
That's good. I like that.
So she's kind of the same way. She's the only MVP I know at the state tournament that has to hitch a ride with mom and dad.
Exactly. To and from. Pretty big, man. Ravenwood, Tanya Schilling, 11 kills. Reagan Grimes, 6 kills, 2 blocks. Avery Lepore, 7 kills. Reagan Larkin, 6 kills. Kennedy Riggs, 26 assists. If I was just reading those stats to you, you would think they were the winners, man. Big-time performances by all of them.
Well, proud of all of them, and
Yep.
certainly represented WCS in a great way, not only with their performance, but their behavior and the student sections. It was on full display.
How do you think the rest of the state feels in volleyball? Oh, we finally got Brentwood out. The dynasty's over, and then all Wilco final.
Well, I'm going to say that Brentwood's the 3rd best team.
Oh, no question.
And on any given night, they could have been the best team.
Right. No question.
So okay, speaking of dominance, because we're getting ready to make some more noise, I thought this was cool. On Friday night, you have Nolensville Ravenwood. Let me go back. I almost forgot this. Let me say this first. This week's gym's a biggie. AAA, you're talking about that dominance. The 24 the last 24 AAA state champions, 21 out of 24 have been from WCS. During that same period, 7 of the AA champions have been from WCS, and then 6 of the finals in AAA during that same time period have been from WCS.
Yeah, 6 all Wilco
finals.
Brentwood, Ravenwood, and Nolensville?
Yes. and of course, Page has won it in AA, Nolensville in AA.
Yeah. So think about that. Ravenwood came from Brentwood. Nolensville came from Ravenwood. They better hope they don't split Nolensville.
It's unbelievable. It is. So what I was going to say is, that they play in the state final on Friday, and then Saturday, both of those schools' soccer teams qualify for the state tournament. That's
Strong.
pretty cool.
Very cool. got another 2 in, and remember, we thought Nolensville had a chance. I mean, hey, the jump up to AAA has been pretty friendly to Nolensville.
It has. It definitely has. And you love that when Ravenwood beats Nolensville in the region finals, but you loved that sectional / sub-state win from Nolensville because you knew what a big deal it was. We were talking about that before.
Oh yeah, Station Camp, they're up there with Ravenwood right now. They've kind of been the last couple of years, but yeah, when you're talking ladies soccer in the state of Tennessee, Station Camp and Coach Cook are as good as it gets, and they've been there, right? He's got at least 2 state championships on the girls' side there, so. They've been there, they've done that, and for Nolensville to knock them off, to do that was not an easy task.
And you're talking about that 1-0 regular win for Nolensville for Ravenwood in the championship game, Gracie Hall with the goal. Nolensville had defeated Ravenwood during the regular season.
Right.
So that was kind of a big deal too. Did want to mention that in the region tournament, Nolensville defeated Franklin 3-1 in the semis. Ravenwood defeats Independence 3-0. So talk about, listen, Nolensville, and let's face it, they were in the district that wasn't as strong.
Right.
I think that's fair to say. But they have to come out and play Franklin, who we thought had a chance to win the state title. They beat them. They beat them. They have to play Ravenwood. They get beat, but then they go to Station Camp. Listen, if you don't think Coach Shelton and Nolensville, they are legit.
Legit. Might have an all-Wilco final again in soccer.
I say we do it. Hey,
thanks for playing, Hendersonville.
Well, here's the thing, too. Station Camp has sort of surpassed what Coach Plummer did at Hendersonville.
They have, no doubt. And obviously a lot of really good players, but a big part of that was the hiring of Coach Cook.
Done a great job.
Who you know very well.
Know him very well, had him in class, student. I'm sure by me teaching him marketing, that probably helped his coach.
Well, I saw him a couple weeks ago, and he told me that. Probably the number one influence.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I said, well, I can see that.
Man, they had to wrestle him away from his alma mater, too. So that may be another story for another time.
I heard that went over well.
I'm sure it did. Hey, how about Madeline Podolsky? She ties the match. They're down 1-0 against Station Camp. You're talking about Nolensville. And then Millie Smith in the 73rd minute scores. Podolsky, I've said this, she may be the best soccer player in this county.
I know.
As a freshman. Goodness.
She shows up big every time. And I think did I read in the article that she's banged up and Millie Smith's one of them's banged up or both of them are banged up? Yeah.
Sarah Grubasic,
yep.
Little banged up. Millie Smith. Lexi Grundler, I want to mention her too. Only a sophomore for Ravenwood, doing a good job in goal. It's impressive. And don't forget, I think sometimes they get forgotten. Whatever. The Page High School in AA.
No doubt.
Region champion, to go out and beat Central Magnet, who they had split with during the regular season. What does that do? It gives them a home match. They take care of White House 4-0. They dominated that sectional. Grace Segundo with 2 goals. So Coach Clapp doing a good job out there.
Yeah, been there before as well. Teetering on Boat Race City when we're starting to talk 4-0 in the sectionals, sub-state as we like to call it here. So, yeah, I would love to know if they played on, you were talking about the home field advantage, which is always so big. I'd love to know if they played on the turf because totally different game if it is.
Generally speaking, it seems like the soccer coaches don't really want to do that.
Right.
Probably because familiarity, it's more intimate, although Nolensville Franklin played on the turf.
Yes.
In the semis, so that they apparently liked it.
You're in the big stadium. Usually the football field's not as, if they don't have it lined off right, it's not as, and they have the correct size on the soccer field, not as big, but then maybe Page wanted a smaller field. Maybe that was more advantageous to them. You never know.
And the ball takes off a little differently.
No, it's like baseball. It much quicker.
State tournament draws, and I'd have to admit I don't know a ton about these opponents, but Ravenwood's taking on Franklin County in the first round. Nolensville Bearden, I do know Bearden's got a nice team, undefeated with only 1 tie. And then Page Signal Mountain. I'm just going out on a limb here, but I'm going to say that Ravenwood and Page end up rolling in their matches.
I agree. I think
start off.
They definitely got the best draw.
Nolensville could be a little tougher, but I'm not counting them out.
Oh, not at all. But that is the toughest matchup of the 3. The Bearden.
Bulldogs, which I know.
You know them well.
Too well. Saw them twice the NEO season.
Different sport. How do we do in cross country?
Well, we get the region meet coming up, right?
Yes.
And I saw where Tennessee mile splits, where I get a lot of the stats. The cross country and track folks out will know that's kind of the place you go to find information. They called our region, which is happening this week, the region of death.
Did they really?
Yes, because of how tough it is.
That's awesome.
And they're
That's a
saying,
heck of a
look at all these WCS schools, and yes.
Sounds like a T-shirt.
I will say this with cross country coming up, and listen, every once in a while I like to go out on a limb on this show. I'm picking the BRENTWOOD girls to win the region.
That is breaking. We need the pundits to put some odds on that.
Yeah, I think so too. Pundits, if you're out there, we want some cross country lines. Anyway, very exciting. I'm also excited, I know you are too. Coming up, we've got, this is it. This week is the week for high school football regular season, and then it gets really darn serious pretty quick.
Really serious. It's bittersweet. It always is for me. The football season always goes too fast. Here we are. We've got one more week, but that's sad. The exciting thing is there's nothing more exciting than the playoffs, and we've got 5 more weeks of that. And we plan on being represented in Chattanooga, one way or the other. So we plan on having 5 more weeks.
And maybe we'll get to do some exciting things from this standpoint, or
it would be very cool.
Something else to show.
The people are calling for it.
Whoever our friends in
Gallatin. And you are a man of the people.
Our friends in Gallatin are definitely wanting it.
God, I would love for Captain Summercamp to come down and be our guest picker. Captain Twitter.
Hey, let's talk about last week's game. We'll start off, and most of these are stepping outside of the region. Fairview, they played inside the region. But we'll start with Brentwood Beach. Brentwood on senior night defeats Beach 42-21. What has Brentwood done? They've won 4 straight. They're now 5-4 overall. That offensive total, 397 yards to 222. An impressive win for Brentwood.
Impressive win. Not only is it an impressive win, but the point differential, 42 points on Beach, not easy to do. Their only losses, as we mentioned, were Summit and Hendersonville, 4 in a row. We talked about this, but I love it, man. It would have been easy for them to kind of go in the tank right after the start of the season. Never did. They're playing really, really well. Wins over Independence, big wins over Independence and Beach now. They're going to be 3rd in the, well, we'll see what happens this week. Yeah. Nobody's looking forward to seeing Brentwood in the playoffs. And Davis White really playing well, 4 touchdowns, 2 of them again to Aaron Walton. I lost track a few weeks ago, but the White to Walton connection might be the most productive one in all of WCS right now.
White's completion percentage has to be off the charts high.
It is.
It has to be. His efficiency in terms of completing, especially we're not talking he's throwing it 8 times a game either. You know, a couple of weeks ago, 20 for 24. There's lots of games like that. Scotty Collins, again, the two-headed monster when you're talking passing and rushing.
That's right.
So Scotty Collins doing a nice job there.
And what does that mean, too? The offensive line's come a long way, too. That was one that they were a little bit worried about. The offensive line's come a long way. They've gotten better and better and better as the end of the year has come along. And so now with that passing attack as a rushing attack, not good. Not good for everybody else.
Defense, obviously Seth Carter stepping up with 7.5 tackles. Henry Hanley, 5.5. Hey, Captain, to the deck. Centennial, Laverne. Coach Kreisky may be the all-time out-of-region boat captain this year. Every single game was boat captain time.
Every win.
Every win outside, every win in the region.
Correct.
Or outside
the region.
Well, like you said, really, the Franklin game, it wasn't too close, was it? 34-7, so.
No. Thanks, Kentucky Lake. He went home. Coach Kreisky was home on Paris landing. Kentucky Lake down there with Bo Cephas and Bobby Ritchie. Thanks for playing, Lavergne. 40-3, not trying to be funny. We're not into, we need to remember that these are high schoolers. But that 40, I think, could have been 80 if they wanted it to.
Yeah.
They were firing on all cylinders. What about my man, Cannon Plowman from the passing end? Breakout game. Good time to get that passing attack going.
No doubt. 255 yards, 11 completions, 255.
Correct.
Now, I'm not totally great at math, but I think that's at least 20 per completion.
You can win some games. Kofi Boggs,
Yep.
4 receptions, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. I know you do. Just really proud of the Centennial Cougars for this season.
Big time. Tanner Lee, Kenai Johnson, rushing touchdowns as well. Hey, listen, I don't want to get out of order, but let's go ahead and keep the theme going with the hat. Let's go right to that last game. Summit at Shelbyville. You said before the game it's a little contentious. Shelbyville will be pumped up for this game. Summit will be fired up. Well, 28 points and 49 unanswered. 28 points in the second quarter and 49 points unanswered. I think Summit did okay.
Calling Coach Coleman to the Duck River.
57-7. Again, it just gets old reading some of these because they almost seem fictitious. It doesn't get old, but it just seems fictitious.
Hey, here's what would be
Wade.
scary to me if I was somewhere in 6A, thought I might run into Summit. Shelbyville had really been playing better. Played Hendersonville really tough, right? They had really a lot of either getting wins or close games. And so some people outside of here thought that, oh man, Shelbyville's going to give Summit all they wanted.
At home.
They gave them all they wanted.
Yeah, at home, they're going to be excited. Destin Wade, 6 for 7, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns, 101 yards rushing and a touchdown. Brady Pierce, 3 touchdowns, 2 of those rushing. Keaton Wade with a pick 6.
99 yards.
I mean, come on. Brandon King, Jack Hill rushing touchdowns. Summit, the playoffs can't get here quick enough.
Every time you think they can't do something to impress you more, I mean, you know how hard it is to take a 99-yard, I mean, they're amazing, man.
It's pretty amazing.
Loved Brady Pierce, those 3 touchdowns. He's getting back. Brandon King, as you mentioned, he always keeps showing up. So, I don't know, man. 57-7. That's this team is. I think a lot of people, for a while it was, Summit's going to make it to the state championship game. Now remember, they're going to have to beat Brentwood again. I mean, Ravenwood again. But can they play with Oakland? I think a lot of people are now saying we expect them to beat Oakland. Now you got to get there first, but 57-7. Goodness gracious.
If they get there, I like our chances.
Let's go.
Fairview, 48-34, win over Sycamore, a region game. And our man, a guy that's becoming very, very popular on this show.
Yes.
A guy you love, Layden Grant. Big night.
262 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, he just keeps getting better and better. I mean, he's having what's ended up to be a monster year. So when they can run the ball like that, it opens it up for Kennedy Pendergrass, 6 for 8, 90 yards. He had another touchdown to Nolan Langford. That's really balanced right there. But, like I think we talked about it last week. Who would have thought going in? I mean, these are surpassing. Last week we were talking about these are Nardozzi numbers that Layden Grant's having. 262 yards. That's Destin Wade first half type numbers.
It's incredible. On the defensive end, Jeffrey Anderson, 13 tackles and interception. Jonathan Perkison, 9 tackles, 3.5 for loss, 2 sacks. WCTV Game of the Week. Franklin, 14, Nolensville, 34. And speaking of WCTV Game of the Week, let's take a look at the Play of the Week.
Johnson in the backfield. Walton drops back to pass, looking for the home run hit there. Look. The official falls down.
What a play!
But he is in the end zone. Ben Coggin, pay dirt, 50 yards over 3 Franklin defenders. You're either getting 40 or you're losing 2. So there's a pass to the corner, and he's got a man. Does he have his feet down? Touchdown. Number 4, Dylan Northcutt makes the toe-tapping catch on the side of the end zone of the Admirals. Shotgun. Has a receiver downfield, and that is going to be caught. Number 1, Chance Fitzgerald climbs the ladder over 3 Admiral defenders, and Paul makes one heck of a catch.
Holy moly.
The Admirals open up again 4 wide this time. The wide receivers are on the wider sides of the field. In shotgun. Brown back to pass, scanning the field. It's batted in the air.
Oh, and it's picked!
Picked by number 6. That is going to be a touchdown. Derek Burrows, who just made the tackle, catches the deflected pass. Lined up in the pistol here. 2 wide receivers on the bottom. Fake handoff to Samson Johnson, and he's going to go to Johnson on the wheel route to the outside. Johnson's got some room, cuts it into the middle of the field, cuts it to the outside. Paul, he is going to score untouched in the end zone.
And there are no flags on the field.
And the fireworks are going here in Nolensville. The fans are being treated to a post-4th of July display here of fireworks.
Well, I'd say the Knights' offense is back firing on all cylinders, wouldn't you?
Definitely. Look at that. How about Kobe Walton, man?
Yeah, well, good to see him back. 298 yards, 4 touchdowns. All 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. Gotta love that. But, the thing I thought was really impressive. 1, Franklin goes down, takes the opening kickoff and scores. Touchdown. Mr. Sparks. But then Nolensville comes back, 34 unanswered points. That offense was really firing on all cylinders, 2 yards away from a 300 game, and I love what they're doing with Sampson out with the in the passing game.
No
Seems
doubt.
like he's still getting his touchdown totals, but it seems like every year, every week, at least one of them is out of the backfield, and I love it. They're not. It's not like they're throwing 40 yards down the field to him. They're getting it out to him quick, getting the ball in his hands, out in space, and not real easy to tackle him in the open field. I really like what they're doing with that.
Franklin, good night. You mentioned from Bryce Sparks, 118 yards rushing and a touchdown. Ashton Orton, 73 yards and a touchdown. They did have 4 turnovers, which that team can't do, obviously.
No.
And Coach Melton knows that. One of those was a pick 6 by Nolensville's Derek Burrows. Now, maybe the best game of the week, especially if you love offense.
Yes.
Page 38 at Independence 49. It was 14-14 early. But then back-to-back touchdowns from Independence made it 28-14, and then Page was constantly trying to battle back. Big nights, Joseph Cummings, 368 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jack Rummel, 144 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. River Katina, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Also, he had an interception on defense. Ty Lockwood, 88 yards. Trey Hartwell, 100 yards rushing. Unbelievable night from the Independence offense.
Oh yeah, and we thought this would be a shootout. Think about this for a second. Joseph Cummings, he's been doing this week after week. He has 368 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, and he did not have the highest total in the game. That's how big of a shootout it was. But no surprise there. I mean, we thought this one would be a shootout, and first loss of the season for Page. I don't think this is something you're too worried about, 5A versus 6A, but that Independence offense, when it's firing on all cylinders, it's really tough. We've talked about the connection that Joseph and Rummel and Katina have gotten, keeps getting better and better. Nice to see, Hartwell step up there. 15 rushes, 3 touchdowns. That's a touchdown every 5 carries. We can live with that. And then on the Page side, our man Jake McNamara, 387 yards, 4 touchdowns, 74 rushing yards. He was 29 of 55. I don't know what Cummings was, but I think he was in the 30s, okay? 22 for 30. I don't know what time that game ended, but that's a lot of incompletions. That's a lot of clock stoppages. That game had to have gone to 9:30.
Well, just to give you an idea, I think Summit's game ended at halftime. This game.
So,
Boy Smith.
Page, not worried about that at all, are you?
No.
In a way,
No.
I'm not so sure this one good for them. They needed to be tested like that.
Well, I was talking to Coach Temple before the game of Page High School, and we were talking about, and he felt like we compete here, There's no 5A team that's any better than Independence.
No.
So if we can play here, we're in business. So I thought they definitely represented themselves well, and so as the game went on, they really started stepping up, especially offensively. I mean, the defensive side, but both defenses were getting gassed.
Well, go back and look at Pages. Pages scored on everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just kind of how the game is. You look at it at the college game. Look at the pros. I was watching the pros yesterday. The Buccaneers had 28 points, and there was like 6 minutes left in the second quarter. So I don't know exactly what's going on right now, but it's definitely an offensive game right now.
No doubt. Boy Smith, a couple of receiving touchdowns for Page. Ethan Cunningham, a rushing touchdown. Michael Meyer, Kaysen Walker with receiving touchdowns. Our last game, I know we're getting a little short on time here. We got to get to our picks, which I'm going to try to get through very quickly for a lot of different reasons this week. Ravenwood, again, 49 unanswered points. But you were saying earlier, think about that, a 99-yard pick six. Well, Miles Pollard, how about a 100-yard pick six in that game?
Oh, that's like a defensive back's dream, right? That's like
He can only be tied now.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I guess technically they can. Yeah, but it only counts 100, right? Man, this is encouraging but scary for everybody else on the other end. I mean, hey, this is what I think. JP2, go back and look at their scores. Look at the people they beat. 28 points. Kenny Minchie, one of the best quarterbacks. 9 times out of 10, he's the best quarterback on the field, but not Friday night because Mr. Parson was on the field. But holding them to 28 points when you score 56 and give them that many possessions, that's a dang good job on the defense. Lee Millette, he keeps, we've known about him, right? He keeps becoming more and more of a threat in the passing game. 3 receptions, 166 yards and a touchdown. Parson, 10 for 14, 286, 3 touchdowns, 7 rushes, 50 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's, it just seems every week. 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. I mean, think about that.
Incredible.
He gets what used to be a great season total in 2 games.
It's incredible. And like Summit, those 49 unanswered points, and then I thought this was maybe as impressive as anything. They scored 35 points in an 8-minute stretch. Is that even real?
Yeah. Yes.
It's like,
well, when you're taking I'm guessing that 100-yard pick six was in the middle of that.
Golly. It's incredible. So
Coach Hester was, let me tell you something, he was pumped up.
He should be. And I know they haven't gotten there yet, but looking forward to the next Summit Ravenwood game, which will be taking place in the playoffs.
No doubt.
No doubt
well,
about it.
I don't know. Brentwood might.
Listen, no offense.
Coach Finch is over there saying,
I don't want to.
not so fast,
I don't want to
friends.
upset the Brentwood folks out there, but I really believe they're going to play again.
I just want to see another, that would be the semis, right? No, the quarters.
Quarters.
Yeah, I just want to see an all-Wilco.
Yeah, me too. Ultimately, me too, right? No doubt about that. Okay, let's talk this week's games. And because we're really short on time, we got to.
What happened? What happened?
Listen, my plan did not work. So you go 7-0 last week.
What did I go last week?
Maybe
I think I'm like 13-0 in the last 2 weeks.
50 wins. Congratulations, Mr. Mathews. Here's the part I like least about it. And I did have to step out and take some chances.
Who's picking for him?
I am now in last place behind the fans and Dr. Qualls. But it's not over. I'm getting back to at least.
You're only 1 back.
Yeah, but I'm in last. I keep being last this time of year. Anyway, fans, keep voting at WCS CO Athletics. All right, let's talk this week's games, Tate. With Pick'ems, again, I may have to step out again a little bit this week, but Brentwood at Centennial. Centennial playoff implications. I predicted it early in the year, said the final game would be for the playoffs. If they win, they're in. Brentwood, if they lose and Centennial or Independence wins, that would put them out. Because Independence would have 1 more win. That would be 3 wins. So Brentwood, good chance to make the playoffs.
Well, here's the great thing. Brentwood, you control your own destiny.
That's right. That's right.
Am I up?
No, I'm up.
Oh, okay.
Brentwood, Centennial, I think it's going to be a great game. I'm picking Brentwood.
Centennial, 6-4 at the beginning of the season. Would you have taken it? You dang right you would have. I think they've had a great year. This Brentwood team is really, really playing well. 5 in a row for the Bruins.
So we both pick Brentwood.
Yes.
Fairview, 4-1 in league play versus Waverly, 4-1 in league play. Both teams with their only loss to White House. This one is for second place in the region. Who you got, Tate? Fairview hosting Waverly. It's a My TV 30 game.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
My TV 30.
Yeah. Just pick the game.
I'm going to lay off that. Waverly's really good. Really good. And up until last week, I would have picked Waverly. Layden Grant, the way they're running the ball, the way Coach Hughes has got them playing. I'm going with the Yellow Jackets on the yellow turf.
See, you messed me up because I was wanting you to pick Waverly. Okay, listen, I got to do it. Sorry, Fairview. I've got to do it to try to get back in it a little bit. I've got to pick Waverly. I hope I'm wrong.
I just hope you pick Lincoln County.
I won't be doing that. Okay, Franklin Summit.
Wait. So you're picking Waverly.
I'm picking Waverly just because
Yeah.
I got to try to. Sorry, Coach Hughes. I'm just trying to get back in this thing.
They're 7-1.
Yeah, it's good. Franklin Summit.
Summit. They might be the best team in the state.
Summit's too good. Nolensville, Franklin County. Again, big matchup in terms of determining who finishes third. Nolensville's at home. I'm picking Nolensville.
I'm going with you. They continue this hot streak. It started playing really well against Page. They're going to finish 4-6 in the regular season, but 4-2 in the region. The Knights.
Page, Lincoln County.
Paging Coach Rathbone to the captain's desk. That one could be break the scoreboard material. Remember, the clock doesn't start running till second half.
Right.
This thing could be.
Could be bad.
Yep.
Page. I'm going Page. All right, last one. Letting you pick first. Ravenwood hosting Independence. And by the way, Tate, we can announce this. The final game day of the regular season, we're coming to Ravenwood.
Raptor Nation.
Raptor Nation.
You haven't been there yet, have you, as
No.
the AD?
No, not for game day.
Hey, here's the deal. Page, the energy level, unmatched. Summit, as far as start to finish, bell to bell, crowd, intensity, noise, Summit. Ravenwood in the past has been the heavyweight champion. I'm interested to see what they bring. If they can do it like in the past, I'm telling you, you've seen nothing like it because they've got a little bit more space. So I'm interested to see if they can defend the title. But right now, Summit and Page have kind of stepped in on their territory. Oh, by the way, I'm picking Ravenwood.
I'm picking Ravenwood also. So we got one difference this week, but I actually hope I'm wrong. Because
On Waverly.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
You sure you don't want Lincoln County?
Tate, appreciate you being here as always.
Hey, it was fun, bittersweet, get to a game, but then we're talking playoffs, and I think we're going to do really well in the football playoff postseason as well.
I do too.
And soccer, hopefully we'll be talking a state championship or two.
We've got a chance.
We got a chance.
Thanks for joining us for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.